to a point where I said, I don't want to feel like this anymore. Has anybody ever been in life where you just draw a line, whether it's a health thing, a financial thing, or a relationship thing? I don't know what it is, and it happens several times in our lives sometimes, right? And you just make a decision and you move forward. And that day I called Nick and I said, Nick, I'm ready. I don't know what I got to do, but number one, I'm hungry. I got to get out of the situation and I'm willing to work. I'm teachable and coachable. Just show me the way. Obviously, you're having success. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. Show me what I got to do, and I'll run the play. And number three, I told him I'm willing to work, and I get it. Our job is not to convince anyone to do this. It's to share the tools and find those who at this moment get it. And guys, literally, because I had done a couple things for 2 years, and I didn't know. I made a list of over 200 people that first night. Literally got my cell phone. I called everybody else. In my mind, I was not going to prejudge, because again, I didn't know who was going to do it. He could have been the perfect person for this, but if it wasn't the right timing, I wasn't going to waste my time with it. I was going to keep on sharing it, but I was going to plant a seed, right? And long story short, first week we enrolled 16 people, called over 200 people, enrolled 16, qualified for the BMW. We helped 7 people do the same thing the first month. And now, 32 months later, we have over 700 BMWs in our team.
Whoa.
And that's people that are earning an extra $1,500 to $2,000 as they qualify for this program, plus BMW payment. And you guys saw a couple people up here. There's a bunch of BMWs outside, by the way. You can take some good shots to show some friends. And nothing, in that process, we have about 32 families that are earning a or multiple six-figure income. And I don't share that with you to impress you, but to impress upon you. Most of those people have never done something like this. They just got passionate about a result they got, maybe a family member, friend. As a result, they got a check in the mail for 50, 100, 150 bucks or something like that. And they're like, I'm doing good. I got paid. I don't know how. What if I understood how this worked? Nothing. They started running the play. Yeah. I mean, how many people have been in that situation where you got a great transformation, or maybe somebody around you did, because you didn't have to lose weight, but somebody got good transformation. You like the products, you were taking them, and all of a sudden you're some little income. And you got curious. Maybe you went to an event like this or a bigger one, and as a result of learning the system, you've moved up in rank to Rising Star, Regional. I mean, anybody here? I mean, is that the situation, right?
Yeah.
And for the most part in our company, that's how it is. So, the small victories led to bigger victories. And what's neat about that is that, it's a lot of people that have never done direct sales having above average success, and some more successful than typical in this industry as a result of just sharing the system and caring about people. And so, you guys are here today. I'll tell you, I'm excited, and I'll tell you why. There's a lot of new people here. The Miami market, which is where I reside, where I have a house, I don't do that too often. I'm not there too often, so I'm traveling a lot. I was in the UK last weekend. Before that, we were in Puerto Rico, Hawaii before that, and then during the week going to different markets and stuff. I share that with you because people are looking, guys. From a health perspective, this obesity epidemic, it's not going anywhere. It's getting worse, right? And it's not just the cosmetics. It's everything that it causes, all the side effects. I mean, if we were to ask a lot of the people that are in the front to share exactly how their health has improved, which we tell them to tone down and not say, you'd be blown away. And I don't share that with you for any other reason than, obesity causes all kinds of side effects, all kinds of health challenges that are controllable, right? And so all of a sudden, if people are looking, feeling, and performing better, things change, right? I mean, I think it starts with a smile, right? I mean, you come up with a different attitude. I mean, and that attitude, everybody can feel it, right? But, it's not only adults, guys, because we know it's a problem. Now it's in adolescents.
Mm-hmm.
And the staggering fact, I was looking at some statistics, by the year 2030, they say if it continues in adolescence at the way it's going, and type 2 diabetes at the level it's at right now, just the adolescents are growing up, it's going to be $1 trillion. The challenge with adolescents, and they said the dialysis, the levels of dialysis, kids in dialysis, well, adults at the time, is going to be, through the roof. So guys, this is all stuff that can be controlled. I mean, let's face it. I mean, unfortunately, some people aren't properly educated on what to eat. What a carb is. My wife had no idea. And I don't say that to be funny. It's just the reality. Not a lot of people pay attention to that stuff. So education is lacking. Number two, we live in a fast-paced lifestyle, right? For example, when my kids get out of school, they got to go to ballet, they got to go to baseball, then they have violin, then, oh my God, they have homework, oh my God, I don't have time to cook. Typical life right now, fast-paced society with the kids, and you don't have time, right? So what do? Happy Meal, one, go large, right?
Yeah.
And then the kids go to sleep. It's a challenge, right? So fast food obviously plays a big part of it because of convenience. And so, guys, we've got a solution that a lot of people are looking for and praying for. And bottom line, it flat out works. I mean, last year, 1.5 million people joined the challenge for the first time. That's crazy. Something's happening, right? And then financially, guys, you know, I hear it all the time. People say, well, money isn't everything. Right?
Yeah.
And those that don't have it are dying to find out what it's like to have it, right? I mean, it's a reality.
Yes.
So, you know, I can tell you when we were struggling, I mean, fortunately we had a great relationship, but when we were struggling, I mean, me and my wife did not communicate at all. Why? Because every other word out of her mouth was like, you know, when are we going to pay this? When are we going to pay that? And I have a solution. I don't answer it. So I was like, you know, she was talking. I was like, you know, after a while, you're like, you know, why do you want to put yourself in that situation? And so it put a lot of strain on our marriage, and that's why divorce rates are so high, causing a lot of friction, tension, et cetera, et cetera. So I share that with you because, guys, right now, I mean, we're on what's called the second wave of momentum. You know, this company, real quick, is an 8-year-old company. I don't know if I can turn this off here. This is an 8-year-old company that basically 4 years ago, when the economy tanked, reinvented itself. And bottom line, what happened was we had our number one product. Our number one, I think I'm putting this down. Our number one product, which is right here, the Vipack. Our number one selling product, which I still think is number one. All of a sudden, when the economy tanks, became a luxury, not a necessity. And in the down economy, when people have to decide between a luxury and a necessity, the luxury is always going to lose. For example, if this is $100 and you have to decide between having this, even though it's life-changing and incredible and you need it, whatever, and gas for the car, the car's going to get gas, right? Mm-hmm. If it's this or food for the family's going to get fed. So what happened was the company, I mean, basically sales went plummeted and they were going to close their doors. And so they had to reinvent themselves like everybody has, right? The economy's changed everything. People don't think the same, they don't buy the same, they don't have the same money. So Visalis was forced to reinvent themselves, and like everybody, but they actually figured out a way to adapt because they figured, you know, this economy's not going to change. It's going to get worse before it gets better, and we don't know how long it's going to take. So how do we grow in spite of that? How do we keep going in spite of that? How do we make it happen in spite of that? So the first thing they did was they said, okay, we need a message that's different than every other company, number one. Number two, it also addresses the masses. You know, how many here have been in direct sales before, network marketing? A lot of people. Typically, the pitch is money, 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 money. You're going to make money. You're going to pay this, right? And they said that really only captures the attention of 3% of the population, because 3% of the population is entrepreneurial, 97% is not. So most people don't. When they hear that, it's like if they turned off the radio. Okay, not interested. I don't care. It's not good anymore, right? They said, how do we cater to the 97%? How do we cater to the masses? And they said, okay, we need a message that no matter what someone's background is, whether they're analytical engineer, stay-at-home mom, a doctor, a soccer coach, a sales professional, a stay-at-home mom, no matter what someone's background is, you know, they feel comfortable being a part of it. They also feel comfortable sharing it with somebody they know. It's not awkward. So that's where the challenge message was born. Because no matter what your background is, if you join a gym, you register for a marathon, you sign up for the local soccer club or baseball club or basketball club or something like that, you're naturally going to call your friends and say, hey, I just joined the gym. I'm going to go every day at 10 in the morning. Go with me, right? We have a friendship. I don't feel weird joining the gym, obviously if I'm ready for it, but I also don't feel weird telling my friend to join me. It's not, I don't feel like, what is she going to think of me if I tell her that, right? It's not, there's no weirdness to that. You got it? Mm-hmm. The marathon. You know, if Krista is a good friend of mine and we ran before, I'm going to tell her, hey, Krista, I just registered for a marathon. I know it's nuts. We haven't done it for a while, but let's do it. It's going to be fun. Come on. Naturally, this is a normal conversation, right? I mean, and it could be a marathon. It could be something else, but you guys get it, right? Something that's not threatening or invasive. You know, Bill, I just joined the local tennis club. Remember how we used to play before? Come on, let's go every Saturday. We'll start playing. We'll play doubles and whatever. Let's do it, right? So the challenge message is just like that. Hey Stan, I just joined the challenge to lose 25 pounds. Do it with me. Or hey Stan, I just joined the challenge to improve my health. Do it with me. Or hey Stan, I just joined the challenge to add some muscle mass. Do it with me. I feel comfortable getting on the challenge for that reason and sharing it with my friends. First thing the company did. Number two, they said, okay, we still have to promote nutritional products. So how do we change the perception that people have with supplements from luxury to necessity? And so if you notice, when you take the challenge, you pick one of 5 kits. Every kit has meal replacement shakes. So literally, no matter which kit you take, you're redirecting money from your food budget into something less expensive and a lot healthier than what most people are having right now. Otherwise, we wouldn't have this obesity epidemic, right? So if you eat, you save money. Anybody here? So nobody's going to tell me, well, I don't have money for that. Well, do you eat? Because you're going to save money and improve nutrition because you're getting more nutrition than what most people are having right now. Otherwise, again, we wouldn't have this health crisis. Number 3, they said, okay, we still need something because a lot of people will join, but they're not comfortable. They don't care about no BMW. They don't care about earning income, right? How do we encourage people that have no financial interest to share the message and bring business, right? I mean, just from a business standpoint, how do we do that? So they said, okay, let's come up with this 3 for free program, where you share this with 3 people who get on the same kit you got on, or one higher, and your next month is free. Now, like I said in the video, when it's free, it just tastes better, right? I don't know what it is. I don't know if they pay for it. You have to pay for it. I think it's great, right? And what that's done, guys, last year, we had over $47 million in free product given away as a result of this program. Guys, this is huge. You know, people do more for their credit card not being charged than for getting a check. This is disappearing auto ship. It just eliminated. From a business standpoint, it's a great retention tool because if people are still ordering, you're still getting your residual income, right? You're still getting a check in the mail. So, you know, the typical person that's getting it for free, all of a sudden when somebody leaves, they're like, why did you leave, right? They'll call them, you know, you don't have to tell somebody, hey, your customer, no, they're like, they don't want to get charged, right? And if not, they'll find somebody else. Make sense?
Yes.
And then the last thing that the company did was the BMW program. You know, car programs and direct sales is nothing new. I mean, you know, there's a company that's been giving out pink Cadillacs for many years, right? The challenge is, historically, in direct sales, is that the car program has been at a very high pin rate. And as a result, most people never even get there, or if they do, it takes about 3 to 5 years. And let's face it, we live in a world where people need to see it before they believe it, right? So, you know, if you tell your friend, I'm going to get a pink Cadillac, let's say, and you don't get it for 3 or 5 years, you know, they're waiting and waiting and waiting, right? But if in a week, a month, a couple months, you show up and you go, meet, and you have a little tag that says, told you so, right?
Drive it up their ass.
When they come out, you can go, boom, right? And all of a sudden, you know, they're like, how did you get the car, right? So what's happened with the car program is we have, in the last 2 years, over 15,000 BMW qualifiers, which is huge. And, you know, all that means, guys, is that, you know, we basically were the first company to come out with an inverted car program, right? You can qualify in your first month, couple months, versus a couple years. I mean, just logically, if you can help a lot of people do that, naturally, I mean, you're building your business, this thing's going to explode, and that's what's happened. You know, in the last 3 years, we sold over $1 billion just in the US and Canada. Last year, our sales led us to be the #2 weight loss company out of all the weight loss companies, #1 being Weight Watchers, us being #2, and then 2 companies that have been around for 35 years or more, spending millions of dollars a year in sales. Jenny Craig and Nutrisystem, you guys heard of those?
Yeah.
We beat them last year. So something's going on. We just recently got recognized from the DSA Top 100 as #1 percentage growth in 2012. I mean, literally, you know, out of the top 100 companies, had the biggest growth. We went from about $240 million to $630 million. And we were #3 in another category. And the reason I want to bring this up, because normally you're not excited about #3, especially if you have a #1, because this category was incremental sales, like how many dollars the company went over the year previous. #1 on that category was a company called Herbalife. I don't know if some of you guys have heard of it. They went up $600 million in sales last year. #2 was a company called Nu Skin. They went up $500 million in sales last year. And then #3 was a company called Amway. Some of you guys may or may not have heard of it. Probably not, right? Sold over $400 million from 2011 to 2012. That was the increment, right? And they were tied with a company called Visalis that also went up $400 million. Now, the interesting thing about that is that the other companies I mentioned, great companies, one thing they have in common is they've been around over 30 years, in some cases 50, right? They're in over 80-some countries, right? And they're selling billions of dollars annually. Visalis is just really 3 years old, because this message is 3 years old. We're in 2 countries. We just opened up our 3rd country, which is the United Kingdom. I was there last weekend. 2 countries, right? And, you know, what do you think is going to happen in the next 2 to 5 years as we continue expansion here in the States and go international?
Blow up.
Guys, I can tell you, I've been in direct sales for 16 years. I've always wanted to be at the right place at the right time. And all that means is to be in a position to help the most amount of people succeed. And this is it. You know, the reason you see me still running with sneakers is that when I got in, I wanted to get as far away from broke as possible. And I'm still running. So I'm excited about that. But guys, I can tell you, I don't know what brought you here today. I don't believe in coincidences. I'm a firm believer that good situations and bad situations, good relationships and bad, have prepared you for this moment. There's a lot of people praying for what we have. They don't know this exists. And all we do is we don't sell milkshakes. We don't get people in BMWs. We promote the challenge utilizing some tools that we have, which are recorded calls, videos, right? And that's all we do. And we just do it over and over and over again. We're going to take a 5-minute break when I finish right now, and for those that want to learn how to promote this, I will go through a very simple system. When I'm done, you'll be like, that's how you did what you've done and continue to do it? And I'll be like, yeah. It's very simple. The challenge is, will you keep it simple, and will you go through the process and share it with enough people so that it can get going for you as well? But guys, I'll leave you with this. You know, I like to leave rooms with stories and something that, you know, if you don't get it here, you'll get it in the car. But there was a gentleman that was going through a midlife crisis. And this gentleman basically wakes up one day and decides to go gambling. Decides to take all his money, all his savings, and go to the casino. So anybody ever heard of somebody do something crazy like that? All of a sudden, just out of nowhere, you know, normal guy, just decided to snap and go nuts. And so he goes to this casino and starts playing and playing and playing and playing and playing and playing. And to not get into too much detail and be here all night, basically played it all out. And as he was playing, you know, a couple hours later, 10 hours later, 12 hours later, I mean, his $100,000+ that he had, you know, dissipates and disappears, basically lost it all. When he comes to realize what he's done, you know, all of a sudden he's like, what in the world have I done, right? And so he's sitting down and, you know, all of a sudden he starts realizing, oh my God, what am I going to tell my wife? What am I going to tell my kids? How am I going to get out of this? Am I going to go back to work? What am I going to do, right? I mean, all of a sudden he was comfortable, you know, he had everything taken care of, but now he's in this craziness that nobody expected, much less himself. And now he's realizing what he's done. He's like, oh my God, what do I do? So as he's sitting there, you know, I mean, think about if you've done something crazy. I mean, what's going through your mind? I mean, your ears are buzzing. I mean, some people get some stuff coming out of their nose. I mean, their mouth gets some stuff, right? I mean, it's crazy, right? When you realize what you've done. And so nothing, he picks himself up and he goes, man, you know, let me go to the washroom, to the restroom and wash my face. I mean, I gotta do something to, you know, snap out of this. And so he's going to the bathroom, and as he's going over there, he's in one of these casinos that when he goes to open the door, he needs to put a coin to get in. And guess what? He has no money. I mean, he's basically gambling, he has no coin. So he's like, I can't even go to the bathroom. So as he's walking out, finds a kind of Elaine, gives him a coin. And nothing. He walks back to the bathroom, and as he's going to go in and put the coin, somebody's walking out. He's like, oh, I'm not going to put the coin in. He puts the coin in his pocket, goes inside, does his thing, refreshes, washes his face, and nothing. He realizes that, wow, I got to fix my family, I got to fix my kids, my wife, right? And he's coming out, you know, you can imagine the buzz. I mean, just think about if you've put yourself in that situation and you've come to realize what you've done, and you're like, oh my God, that's the clean version. Oh my, wow. What's going through your mind? You're like, I don't even want to go home. You know, I mean, think about what he's walking out. As he's walking out, he sticks his hand in his pocket and realizes he's got a coin, and he's like, looking at the machine. Puts the coin in the machine, pulls the bar, starts walking out, and what do you think happens?
Ding, 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 ding.
Ding, 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 ding. Not only was it ding, 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 he won the mega jackpot, $4 million. I mean, this guy took it all. I mean, the prize that nobody's won for years, this guy won. And, you know, as is customary in any casino, what do? I mean, they start taking pictures, they start asking him the story, what happened, and he starts, you know, telling him, man, I had this crazy idea to come here and spend all my money. And so imagine this guy. He comes into the casino with a crazy idea, realizes he lost it all. He's freaking out. What am I going to tell my family? All of a sudden, he's on top of the world. Right? I mean, think about the emotional roller coaster within a 24-hour period this guy's gone through. And as he's there taking pictures and they're interviewing him and taking down his name and his story, one gentleman in the crowd says, hey, did you find the guy that gave you that quarter? And he goes, yeah, I know who it is, and I thanked him, but the guy I'm looking for is the one that opened that door.
Right. Right.
I'm going to tell you, inviting you today, open that door of possibility. That door of hope, of improving your health, improving your finances. You know what's neat about what we do here? It's not about you. It's not about you losing weight. It's not about you making money. It's about finding people that are looking and they're praying for a solution and they don't know this exists and sharing it with them. And in the process of helping others get what they want, you get what you want. Because I'm telling you, we found it. If you've been praying, if you've been looking for something, guys, I'm telling you, look no further. If my story doesn't inspire you, if my commitment, if the leadership commitment that you guys have here, of people that are determined to make a difference here, this area right here is going to go through a second revolution, a second wave. I'm telling you, it's going to be bigger, better, and stronger. The story is going to be dramatically impactful. And guys, what's neat about this at the end of the day is that it's going to feel good. And so I don't know where you guys find yourself today, but my number one suggestion is get back with the person that invited you today. If it's just to get on the challenge and you're here today and you're wondering, man, they told me that it was about a Wendy's Frosty shake. It tasted delicious for weight loss. This casino thing, and what is this guy talking about? Crazy Cuban from Miami. If that's what you came for, guys, get with the person that invited you. We have a 90-day results guarantee. You can take the product literally for 90 days. If you don't like it, call the company and say, hey, I took it for 90 days. I didn't get the results I got. I want my money back. Try doing that at Weight Watchers, and they will call the cops on you for Baker Act. Because they'll be like, are you nuts? How can you order stuff and just go? If you not only want to get on the challenge but get it for free, invite some friends over, again with the person that invited you. Just have them watch the first part of the video that only talks about the challenge, sample some shakes, and once you get 3 people on the same kit, you got on or one higher, next month is free, and every month as long as they order, right? And then if you not only want to improve health, get it for free, but earn some income, maybe get a BMW, maybe replace your income on a part-time basis or go further than that, then not only join us, but stay for our training, guys. I will show you exactly what you got to do. And I'll tell you, this is not complicated. The question is, number one, what do you want? And number two, are you willing to go share it? And in the process, share it with people that are looking, praying for a solution. Help them out and forget about you. And in the process, you're taken care of because you've been helping other people that want it and are willing to do something about it. So guys, hopefully something here connected with you guys. If you guys have any questions, we'll break up real quick. But in like 5 minutes, we're going to do the getting started training. It will not be long, but I'll hit some key points. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, we're going to have our regional, June 21st, 22nd. I can tell you that will probably be the second best, the most important thing for you guys to do is to not only get started, get trained, but be there and load it up. So thank you very much. God bless. And good night.